Yeah, hello everyone. As you can see, we're trying to stretch this until lunch. My name is Sascha. I am here to present Eth.events. I have mostly history in big data and machine learning stuff. And yeah, today I'm here to make your lives, your developer lives, a little bit easier. I will be talking about Eth.events, which is basically a Elasticsearch index of all blocks, transactions, logs, and events that occurred on the Ethereum blockchain since the Genesis block. We are processing this data and enrich it using the available APIs and provide you with a query and aggregation framework on top of Elasticsearch. And yeah, let's get started. I think the best way to show what we're actually doing is by using an example. So imagine you are writing a decentralized application, something with kitties, and at some point it will be a huge success. So you are interested in getting some insight into your application. You want to know how many kitties have been born since you started your application. And for that, I know there's a property on the CryptoKitties contract where you can just look up that number. But to make it a bit fun, we will have a look at the birth event, which is shown here. This is emitted every time a new kitten is either born through breeding or generated automatically from the contract. And below the event signature, you can see the topic, which is just the hash of the event signature. So the first thing you would try to do would be to just use the JSON RPC with your preferred Ethereum client. You would do a curl request, or you could do this with get and parity, and you just put in the address of the contract. This is the CryptoKitties contract, and the topic you're looking for, the birth event. And once you send this transaction, this call, you get back this information, which is the address and topic you were looking for. You will get actually a lot of these objects back. And there is a big data string, which we will look into now in more detail. Because actually, this is only a concatenated version of the single parameters of the event. We have the owner, the kitty ID, the parents, and the genes. With this specific event, every single parameter has 32 bytes, so everything is the same length, but of course this could look different for other events. But this is the way you would extract the information out of the raw event you're getting via the JSON RPC. The next thing, because this isn't that handy, you would try to use the Web3 API. You would create a contract using the CryptoKitties API and the contract address again, and then just query the birth events. And as soon as you start watching the event listener, you will get the single birth events with all the data extracted. And if you just leave this running, you will get new events as well. It looks like this. There you can see in the arguments array, you have all the parameters already extracted, and you can kind of easily use them. But this comes to a price, because both ways of querying event data from the blockchain client is quite slow. This is mostly because not all event data is stored permanently on your local machine, because it's just too much. We have roughly 6 million blocks by now, and over 170 million event logs that were generated. And because these can be easily regenerated from the blockchain, they are not stored permanently. On top of that, you don't have any filtering options, so your only way to go would be to fetch all the events and then filter them manually, which again takes a lot of time. And as you may have noticed in my examples before, I only fetched a few events from the last days because at least on my machine, when I ran it for the whole blockchain, it just crashed because the data that needed to process was just too big. So in the end, if you're serious about your decentralized application and you want to have insights in your event data, then you are going to build your own database of the event data. You will put everything we just saw into that database, make it searchable and filterable, and then you can work with the data. This is, by the way, exactly what the CryptoKitties guys did. They have a Medium article online where they're describing their struggle to keep the Geth client that feeds in the data running, because it apparently crashes quite often when doing such things. And yeah, I don't have any notes, so I don't know what's next. Oh yeah, of course. What I was originally talking about, Eth.events. So we're going to solve a lot of these problems by providing a already existing index of all events that ever occurred on the Ethereum blockchain. You can query and aggregate the information, and yeah, this looks like this. So in case of the CryptoKitties, I hope you can read this. We have, again, the CryptoKitties address, and we're looking for the birth event. And in the end, the result, I mean, you can see it took 32 milliseconds, which is a bit faster than using the Geth client directly, and it gives us around 850,000 kitties that are in existence. This is not exactly the number that's on the CryptoKitties webpage. I'm not sure why. Maybe they are hiding some special cats, but yeah, it adds up at some point. So this is, of course, not the only thing you can do with Eth.events, just counting some kitties. You could also have an aggregation, in this case, on the birth rates per day. This is from the beginning of the CryptoKitties contract until now, and you can see in December, when CryptoKitties was kind of popular, a lot of people started breeding their cats and invested a lot of Ether in it, and yeah, we had a peak in December, and then it kind of flattened. There are also some kitties generated automatically, so this is some of the base load, but yeah, people are still using this and having fun with it. I assume some people have invested a lot of money, so it's a good move to keep on doing that. And speaking of investment, you can also trade the kitties on the auction contract, which is what we're looking at right here. I did an aggregation on the hour of day, so you can see there is a peak at 9 p.m., which is UTC time. This is roughly noon in the US, so you know what people are doing in their lunch break. Okay, so you might be asking, what's in it for me when using Eth.events? What you're getting is real-time blockchain data. We are indexing the events as soon as they occur. We are constantly listening to the Geth client and input all the information into our database. There is no own server or other infrastructure needed. Everything is hosted on our machines, so you can just use it. There is no setup required. Every data is already there, and in case you published your smart contract on the blockchain but did not publish your ABI, we can enrich the data afterwards. So if you want to use it and want to give us your ABI, we can later on import it, and the data will be available within minutes. Yeah, you can use it. I mean, in the end, it's a REST interface. You can use it on the server and client side. On the server, you could push aggregated data into your metric system, or on the client, if you're up to that, you could build a dashboard completely off any servers as a decentralized application and live the dream. And yeah, finally, it's free. So for normal Ethereum dApp usage, you don't have to pay anything to use it. Of course, if you're planning on doing 5,000 requests a second or want to integrate some exotic sidechain we have not heard of, we would have to talk, but for the basic usage, it's completely free. Yeah. Okay, the next steps would be at least, one second. At least that's what we have in mind right now, would be to have clients in JavaScript, Python, and Java. We are going to simplify and optimize the existing API. Right now you can send raw Elasticsearch queries to the service, which is quite powerful, but also not that handy. So we will provide specialized endpoints for things like easy counting or simple aggregations. We will provide statistic and status endpoints, so you can check at what block the index is and what the server time is, so you can make sure that you're really looking at the latest data. As I said, we will integrate test and private chains, and we will probably also provide a streaming API using WebSockets, which will enable you to just listen to event updates or even get continuously aggregated information for your systems. And finally, you name it, literally. So if you have a specific use case in mind and want to get on Eth.events, we are here the whole 2 days. So stop by, talk to us. We're here, and yeah, we're hoping we can help you. Thank you. Stay awesome.